Frank, endometriosis, in very, very basic terms, what is endometriosis?
Thanks for having me, Kelly, first and foremost. So endometriosis, essentially a condition that's not very well understood in terms of why it happens. But if you think about endometrium, which is the inner lining of the womb, there's a reason it's called the inner lining of the womb. It's because it should remain there. But what happens is in endometriosis, you get the same tissue, the endometrial tissue, which is on the inner lining of the womb, appear elsewhere that is not inside the womb. So you can get it just outside of the uterus. So in the what we call the fallopian tubes. So if you think about female anatomy, you have the uterus and then you have the fallopian tubes that connect the womb to the ovaries. So you can get deposits of this tissue in the tubes, the ovaries in and around themselves. You can get it in the pelvic tissue, so the kind of mesh of tissue that holds the uterus and the womb and the ovaries and stuff together. You can also, very rarely, get it attached to the bowel, the bladder, and even in the lungs, the skin, the brain. So you can get endometriosis anywhere. It's very rare to do that. So majority of this extra abnormal tissue, which shouldn't be outside the uterus, tends to be in and around to the pelvic area. So that's what endometriosis is, right? But in terms of why it happens, nobody really knows. And there's a load of different theories. One of the theories is that the menstrual blood, instead of when you have a period, instead of coming out as you would normally on a monthly basis, goes the wrong way. And instead of coming out through the vagina and into a pad or a tampon, it seeds itself in other parts of that pelvic area. But that doesn't explain how it can get to other places. Sometimes there's a theory that it can be due to an autoimmune sort of abnormality where the immune system should stop the abnormal tissue from growing anywhere other than in the womb, but it doesn't, and therefore it can grow elsewhere. People also talk about it in terms of if you have an operation, for example, like a cesarean section or a procedure, that during that procedure, you might take a bit of the endometrial tissue by mistake, and you can see it in scar tissue afterwards and stuff. So there's a whole host of different theories behind why it happens.